because everybody talks to you about it. And I remember a story you told on a show we did one time before. Well, the incredible fact that you didn't know.
Casablanca is one of the most beloved films in cinema history. But few people know about the hidden details and behind-the-scenes decisions that changed everything. There's one scene in particular, one moment, that the filmmakers quietly altered, and for decades the truth was kept under wraps. What they hid in Casablanca reveals a side of Hollywood most fans never knew existed. The flickering black and white of a film reel, a story born from a world at war, a place called Casablanca. For over 80 years, this movie has captured the hearts of audiences, a timeless tale of love, loss, and sacrifice. We think we know it. We quote the famous lines, hum the unforgettable tune, and picture Humphrey Bogart in his white tuxedo jacket, a man torn between a woman he loves and a cause he knows is right. But what if the story we think we know is only the surface? What if the most pivotal moments in Casablanca are not the ones we always talk about? What if there are secrets buried within the very celluloid of the film? Secrets that, once revealed, change everything. Tonight we're going to journey back to that Moroccan city, to Rick's Café Américain, but we're going to see it in a way you never have before. We're going to uncover the hidden truths, the subtle gestures, and the powerful undercurrents that make Casablanca not just a great movie, but a profound and enduring statement about the human spirit in the face of darkness. We're going to explore a scene that is more than just a turning point in the plot. It's the very soul of the film, the moment where the true meaning of Casablanca crystallizes. And in doing so, we'll discover what they hid in plain sight, a message so powerful that it resonates even more strongly today. To truly understand the weight of Casablanca, we have to transport ourselves back to the time of its creation. The year is 1942. The world is engulfed in the flames of the Second World War. The United States, still reeling from the attack on Pearl Harbor just a year earlier, is now fully committed to the fight against the Axis powers. Hollywood, in its own way, went to war too. The film industry was a powerful tool for shaping public opinion, for boosting morale, and for painting a clear picture of who the good guys were and who the enemy was. But Casablanca was different. It wasn't a straightforward propaganda film with square-jawed heroes and snarling villains. It was something far more nuanced, more complex, and ultimately, more honest. The film is set in the city of Casablanca, in French Morocco, a territory controlled by Vichy France, a puppet government of Nazi Germany. It's a place of limbo, a purgatory for refugees from all over Europe, all desperately trying to get to the neutral port of Lisbon, and from there to the freedom of America. This wasn't a fictional backdrop. It was a harsh reality for countless people. The writers of the film, the Epstein twins, Julius and Philip, along with Howard Koch, drew heavily from the headlines of the day. The desperation, the fear, the glimmer of hope, it was all real. Into this melting pot of humanity steps our protagonist, Rick Blaine, played by the inimitable Humphrey Bogart. Rick is an American expatriate, the owner of the most popular gin joint in town, Rick's Café Américain. He's a man with a past, a man who famously sticks his neck out for nobody. He's cynical, world-weary, and seemingly detached from the political turmoil swirling around him. He is the epitome of the isolationist sentiment that was so prevalent in the United States before the war. "I'm the only cause I'm interested in," he declares. And for a good portion of the film, we believe him. But Rick's carefully constructed neutrality is shattered by the arrival of Ilsa Lund, played by the luminous Ingrid Bergman. Ilsa is the great love of Rick's life, the woman who broke his heart in Paris on the very day the Germans marched into the city. And she hasn't come to Casablanca alone. She's with her husband, Victor Laszlo, a renowned Czech resistance leader who has escaped from a Nazi concentration camp. Laszlo is a hero, a symbol of defiance against tyranny, and he needs to get to America to continue his work. The only thing standing in their way are 2 letters of transit, priceless documents that guarantee safe passage. And wouldn't you know it, they've fallen into Rick's hands. This is the central conflict of the film. Will Rick help Ilsa and her heroic husband escape? Or will he succumb to his own bitterness and pain? It's a classic love triangle, but it's set against a backdrop of global conflict, which elevates the personal stakes to a matter of international importance. Rick's decision is not just about a woman, it's about choosing a side in the war, about rejoining the fight for a better world. Now, let's talk about the scene. The one that, I argue, changes everything. It's not the famous "play it Sam" moment, as iconic as that is. It's not even the heart-wrenching final scene at the airport. No, the scene that truly defines Casablanca, that unlocks its hidden depths, is the La Marseillaise sequence. Let's set the stage. A group of Nazi officers, led by the arrogant Major Strasser, are gathered in Rick's cafe. They're boisterous, they're drunk, and they're singing a patriotic German song, Die Wacht am Rhein, The Watch on the Rhine. Their voices fill the room, a chilling reminder of the power and reach of the Third Reich. The other patrons in the cafe, many of them refugees who have fled from Nazi oppression, are visibly uncomfortable. They look down at their drinks, they shift in their seats, and then something extraordinary happens. Victor Laszlo, ever the defiant one, marches over to the house band. He looks them in the eye, and with a voice full of conviction he says, "Play the Marseillaise. Play it." The band looks to Rick for approval. This is his place, his rules. And remember, Rick sticks his neck out for nobody. But in this moment, something shifts in him. He gives a curt, almost imperceptible nod, and with that small gesture, the battle is joined. The band strikes up the French national anthem. At first, it's just a few instruments, a tentative melody. But then, one by one, the patrons in the cafe begin to sing. A lone voice, then another, and another, until the entire room is filled with the sound of La Marseillaise. It's a chorus of defiance, a symphony of hope. The refugees, people who have lost everything, find their voice in that moment. They are no longer just scattered individuals, they are a united front, a community bound by their shared hatred of oppression and their yearning for freedom. The camera pans across their faces, and what we see is not just acting. Many of the actors in that scene were actual refugees from Nazi-occupied Europe. They had fled their homes, their families, their former lives. For them, this wasn't just a scene in a movie. It was a deeply personal and emotional experience. The tears streaming down their faces are real. The passion in their voices is genuine. They are not just singing a song. They are reliving their own struggles, their own defiance. The German officers, for their part, are stunned. Their boisterous singing falters, then dies out completely. They are drowned out by the sheer power and emotion of the Marseillaise. Major Strasser, furious at this open act of rebellion, orders the cafe to be closed. But it's too late. The damage is done. A line has been drawn in the sand, and everyone in that room, including Rick, has chosen a side. This scene is the heart and soul of Casablanca. It's the moment where the film's true allegiances are laid bare. Up until this point, Rick has been a passive observer, a man who prides himself on his neutrality. But in giving that small nod, he makes a profound choice. He chooses to stand with the oppressed, to fight for something bigger than himself. It's the beginning of his transformation from a cynical isolationist to a committed anti-fascist. But the power of this scene goes even deeper. To truly appreciate its significance, we need to understand what was hidden within it, the layers of meaning that might not be immediately apparent to a modern audience. First, let's consider the choice of songs. Die Wacht am Rhein was a popular German patriotic song, but it was also a song with a long history of being used to stir up nationalist sentiment. It was a song of conquest, of German dominance. It was born out of the French Revolution, a fight for liberty, equality, and fraternity. The juxtaposition of these two songs is a brilliant piece of cinematic storytelling. It's a musical battle between tyranny and freedom, and in Rick's Cafe, freedom wins. Now let's talk about the actors. I mentioned that many of them were real refugees. Think about that for a moment. These were people who had experienced the horrors of Nazism firsthand. They had seen their countries invaded, their loved ones persecuted. And here they were, in a Hollywood studio, reliving those emotions for the camera. The actress Madeleine LeBeau, who plays Yvonne, the jilted lover who tearfully shouts "Vive la France" at the end of the song, had herself fled from Nazi-occupied Paris with her husband, Marcel Dalio, who also appears in the film as the croupier Emile. Her tears in that scene are not just for her character, they are for her homeland, for the life she lost. This is not just acting, it's a raw, unfiltered expression of genuine emotion. And that's something that no amount of technical skill or clever writing can replicate. It's what gives the scene its incredible power and authenticity. But the hidden layers don't stop there. We need to consider the political climate in which the film was made. In 1942, the United States was at war, but there was still a significant portion of the population that was hesitant about American involvement in a European conflict. The isolationist movement was strong, and many people shared Rick's initial sentiment of, "I stick my neck out for nobody." The La Marseillaise scene was a direct challenge to that isolationist mindset. It was a call to action, a reminder that there are some fights that you cannot afford to sit out. It was a message to the American people that neutrality in the face of evil is not an option. The filmmakers were taking a bold stand, and they were doing it in a way that was both subtle and incredibly powerful. They weren't hitting the audience over the head with a preachy message. They were letting the story, the music, and the raw emotion of the actors speak for themselves. And the message was clear. It's time to wake up, America. It's time to join the fight. Now, let's delve even deeper into the hidden aspects of Casablanca, beyond just this one pivotal scene. The entire film is a masterclass in subtle storytelling, in conveying powerful ideas without spelling them out. And much of this was by necessity. The filmmakers were working under the constraints of the Hays Code, the strict set of moral guidelines that governed Hollywood at the time. The code prohibited any explicit depiction of sex, violence, or controversial political ideas. So, the writers and director Michael Curtiz had to be clever. They had to find ways to suggest things without showing them, to say things without saying them. Take the relationship between Rick and Ilsa, for example. The Hays Code would never have allowed an explicit portrayal of an adulterous affair. And yet, the film leaves little doubt that Rick and Ilsa were lovers in Paris, and that their passion is rekindled in Casablanca. The chemistry between Bogart and Bergman is electric, and the dialogue is filled with double entendres and unspoken desires. When Ilsa says, "Was that cannon fire, or is it my heart pounding?" we know exactly what she means. The filmmakers are trusting the audience to read between the lines, to understand the subtext. And what about the political subtext? The film is a powerful indictment of fascism, but the word Nazi is never actually spoken by any of the main characters. They are referred to as Germans or the authorities. This was a deliberate choice. By avoiding the specific label, the filmmakers were making a broader statement about the nature of tyranny. They were suggesting that the fight against oppression is a universal one, that it's not just about one particular regime or ideology. It's a timeless struggle between good and evil. Even the casting of the film is filled with hidden meanings. Humphrey Bogart, who was not yet the major star he would become, was an interesting choice for the role of Rick. He was not a conventional leading man. He was shorter than Ingrid Bergman, and he had a world-weary cynicism that was a far cry from the dashing heroes of the time. But that's precisely what made him perfect for the part. Bogart's Rick is a flawed, complex character, a man who has been hurt by life, but who ultimately finds redemption. He is a symbol of the reluctant hero, the ordinary person who is called upon to do extraordinary things. And then there's Ingrid Bergman. She brings a luminous, almost ethereal quality to the role of Ilsa. But her character is more than just a beautiful damsel in distress. Ilsa is a woman of strength and conviction. She is torn between two men she loves, but she is also deeply committed to the cause of freedom. Her final decision to leave with Victor is not a sign of weakness. It's a testament to her selflessness and her understanding of what is truly at stake. The supporting cast is also a crucial part of the film's success. Claude Rains is brilliant as the cynical but ultimately good-hearted Captain Renault. His witty banter with Rick provides much of the film's humor, but it also masks a deeper moral ambiguity. Renault is a man who is willing to look the other way, to bend the rules for his own benefit. But in the end, he too chooses a side. His final line, "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship," is not just a clever quip. It's a declaration of his commitment to the cause. And we can't forget about the villains. Konrad Veidt, who plays Major Strasser, was a German actor who had fled his homeland to escape the Nazis. He brought a chilling authenticity to the role, a sense of cold, calculating evil. And Peter Lorre, as the weaselly Ugarte, is a memorable portrait of a man who is corrupted by greed and fear. Casablanca, 1942, is a cinematic masterpiece whose production story is as compelling as the film itself. The text explores the film's creation, its iconic scenes, and the layers of meaning that have cemented its status as a timeless allegory of sacrifice, defiance, and hope. Below is a 1,000-word summary that captures the essence of the text while maintaining its depth and insight. The production of Casablanca was marked by chaos and improvisation, contributing to its raw, immediate quality. The script, adapted from the play Everybody Comes to Rick's, was rewritten constantly during filming. Actors, including Ingrid Bergman, were often unaware of the story's resolution, with Bergman unsure whether her character Ilsa was meant to love Rick or Victor. This uncertainty imbued the film with a sense of real-time storytelling, as if the narrative were unfolding organically. The original play was a straightforward melodrama, but writers Julius and Philip Epstein, along with Howard Koch, transformed it into a politically charged narrative with sharp, witty dialogue. Their craftsmanship created characters who were both archetypal and deeply human, blending Hollywood glamour with the gritty realism of film noir. Director Michael Curtiz, a Hungarian immigrant, brought a distinctive visual style to Casablanca. Known for his demanding nature, Curtiz used light and shadow to craft a moody, chaotic atmosphere reflective of a world on the brink. His meticulous approach enhanced the performances of the cast, resulting in a film whose iconic look, combining glamour and grit, has become as celebrated as its story. The interplay of light, shadow, and setting created a visual language that underscored the film's themes of moral ambiguity and resistance. At the heart of Casablanca lies the La Marseillaise scene, a pivotal moment that elevates the film beyond its genre. In this scene, refugees in Rick's Café Américain, led by Victor Laszlo, drown out a Nazi anthem with a passionate rendition of the French national anthem. The scene is a subtle yet powerful act of defiance, reflecting the real emotions of the refugee actors, many of whom were fleeing persecution in Europe. This moment marks a turning point for Rick Blaine, who transitions from a cynical, neutral bystander to a committed participant in the fight against fascism. The scene transcends the love story and war movie conventions.
The La Marseillaise scene also showcases the filmmaker's clever subversion of the Hays Code,
Hollywood's censorship guidelines by embedding political messages subtly. The absence of the word Nazi was a strategic choice, allowing the film to condemn fascism without appearing overly propagandistic. This subtlety ensured the film's appeal to mainstream audiences, while avoiding scrutiny from censors and conservative politicians wary of Hollywood's left-leaning voices. The Epstein twins and Koch, known for their liberal views, navigated the political climate of the early 1940s, when the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, was beginning to scrutinize the industry. Their courage in crafting an anti-fascist narrative at a time when some filmmakers avoided political stances underscores the film's boldness. Rick Blaine's character arc mirrors America's shift from isolationism to interventionism during World War II. Early in the film, Rick's neutrality reflects the sentiment of many Americans before the Pearl Harbor attack, wary of involvement in another European war. However, the La Marseillaise scene forces Rick to confront the impossibility of remaining detached in the face of injustice. His decision to allow the anthem to be played signifies his choice to join the fight for freedom, a powerful message for 1942 audiences. Rick's journey resonates as a call to action, emphasizing that neutrality is untenable when tyranny threatens. The film's climax at the airport is the culmination of Rick's transformation. His decision to put Ilsa on the plane with Victor, sacrificing his personal happiness for the greater good, is a profound act of selflessness. His iconic line, "The problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world," reflects moral clarity, prioritizing collective struggle over individual desires. The fog enveloping the airport, a practical necessity to mask the soundstage, symbolizes the uncertainty of the future and the moral ambiguity of the wartime world. Yet it also underscores the possibility of finding a path to freedom amidst chaos. The relationship between Rick and Louis Renault, the morally ambiguous police captain, adds another layer to the film's ending. Their beautiful friendship, forged as they walk into the fog, suggests a hopeful yet complex future. United in their opposition to the Nazis, they embody the idea that solidarity and human connection can persist, even in tumultuous times. The ending avoids simplistic optimism, acknowledging the ongoing war and uncertain future, but instills hope through the characters' resolve to fight on. Casablanca's enduring legacy stems from its layered storytelling and universal themes. The film has been quoted, parodied, and celebrated across generations, with viewers finding new meaning in its narrative. Its ability to resonate lies in its hidden truths, subtle gestures, powerful undercurrents, and unspoken emotions. The filmmakers trusted audiences to engage actively, uncovering meanings whispered in shadows or conveyed through defiant acts like the La Marseillaise scene. This trust elevates Casablanca from mere entertainment to a historical document and work of art that speaks to the human condition. The film's symbolism deepens its impact. The letters of transit signed by General de Gaulle represent freedom and escape from oppression, aligning with the Allied cause. The city of Casablanca itself is a microcosm of a world in transition, where diverse individuals are united by a shared purpose. Music, particularly as time goes by, serves as a narrative anchor, evoking memory, love, and resilience. For Rick, the song is both a painful reminder of lost love and a catalyst for reconnecting with his humanity, marking his emotional and moral awakening. The casting of Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman was pivotal to the film's success. Bogart, an unconventional romantic lead, brought a unique blend of cynicism and vulnerability to Rick, transforming him into a relatable, everyman hero. Bergman's portrayal of Ilsa combined glamour with strength, her grace under pressure complementing Bogart's understated intensity. Their chemistry electrifies the screen, making the love story both timeless and heartbreaking. Casablanca defied the formulaic nature of Hollywood's studio system, where films often followed predictable patterns. Its evolving script, unconventional casting, and willingness to tackle political themes set it apart. The film's energy and spontaneity, born from its chaotic production, give it a freshness that continues to captivate audiences. Ultimately, Casablanca is a testament to the power of cinema to reflect its time while transcending it. The La Marseillaise scene remains its heart, a moment of collective defiance that reminds us of the human spirit's capacity to endure and inspire, even in the darkest times. The supporting cast, as we've noted, is one of the film's greatest strengths. But it's worth taking a moment to appreciate the sheer diversity of talent that was assembled for this film. Actors from all over the world, many of them refugees from Nazi-occupied Europe, came together to create this rich and vibrant tapestry of humanity. Their personal stories, their real-life experiences of loss and displacement, infused the film with a sense of authenticity and emotional depth that could not have been achieved with a cast of all-American actors. The film's visual style is also a key part of its success. Director Michael Curtiz was a master of light and shadow, and he used his skills to create a world that is both glamorous and dangerous, romantic and gritty. The black and white cinematography is not just a technical limitation of the era, it's an artistic choice that enhances the film's mood and atmosphere. The world of Casablanca is a world of moral grays, and the cinematography reflects that ambiguity. But perhaps the most radical thing about Casablanca is its message. In an era when Hollywood was often criticized for its escapism, for its failure to engage with the pressing issues of the day, Casablanca was a film that dared to be relevant. It was a film that took a stand, a film that argued for the importance of political commitment and social responsibility. It was a film that told its audience that they could not afford to be bystanders in the fight against fascism. The La Marseillaise scene is the most powerful expression of this message. It's a scene that is both deeply moving and profoundly political. It's a scene that reminds us that art can be a powerful weapon, that a song can be a call to arms, that a movie can change the world. And the world did need changing in 1942. The war was at a critical juncture, and the outcome was far from certain. The American people were being asked to make great sacrifices, to send their sons and daughters to fight in a distant land. They needed to be reminded of what they were fighting for. Casablanca, in its own small way, helped to provide that reminder. It was a film that captured the spirit of the times, the sense of urgency, the feeling that the fate of the world hung in the balance. The film's enduring popularity is a testament to the power of its message. The themes of love, loss, sacrifice, and redemption are universal and timeless. The characters are so well drawn, so deeply human, that we can't help but connect with them. And the story is so compelling, so expertly crafted, that it keeps us on the edge of our seats, no matter how many times we've seen it. But I believe that there is another reason for the film's longevity. I believe that Casablanca speaks to a deep-seated human need, the need for hope. In a world that can often seem dark and cynical, Casablanca is a film that dares to be hopeful. It's a film that tells us that even in the most difficult of circumstances, there is still the possibility of redemption, of love, of a better tomorrow. The La Marseillaise scene is the embodiment of that hope. It's a scene that shows us the power of collective action, the resilience of the human spirit, the triumph of hope over despair. It's a scene that reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, that we are part of a larger community of people who share our values, our dreams, our aspirations. So, the next time you watch Casablanca, pay close attention to that scene in Rick's Café Américain. Listen to the music. Watch the faces of the actors. Feel the raw emotion of the moment. And remember the hidden truths that we've uncovered tonight. Remember the real-life refugees, the courageous filmmakers, the subtle political message, the powerful symbolism. Remember that you are watching more than just a movie. You are watching a piece of history, a work of art. Ideas, you are watching the scene that changed everything. And you are discovering once again why Casablanca is and always will be one of the greatest films ever made. The story of Casablanca and its hidden depths continues to unfold, much like the ever-shifting sands of the Moroccan desert where it is set. The more we examine this cinematic masterpiece, the more we realize that its creators were not just making a movie. They were crafting a complex and multi-layered narrative that was designed to be deconstructed and analyzed for generations to come. One of the most fascinating, hidden aspects of the film is its exploration of the nature of identity. Almost every character in Casablanca is not who they initially appear to be. Rick, the cynical saloon keeper, is actually a former freedom fighter who ran guns to Ethiopia and fought in the Spanish Civil War. Captain Renault, the corrupt Vichy official, is ultimately a patriot who chooses to side with the Allies. Ilsa, the beautiful and mysterious woman, is torn between her love for two different men and her commitment to a cause that is larger than herself. This theme of hidden identities is not just a dramatic device, it's a reflection of the reality of life in a world at war. In a time of espionage and intrigue, people were often forced to assume false identities, to hide their true allegiances, to live a life of deception. The film captures this sense of uncertainty and paranoia perfectly. We are never quite sure who to trust, who is telling the truth, who is on the right side. The city of Casablanca itself is a character in the film, a place where identities are fluid, where people can reinvent themselves, where the past can be shed like an old skin. But the film also suggests that we can never truly escape from who we are. Rick's past eventually catches up with him, and he is forced to confront the man he used to be. Ilsa's love for Rick is a powerful force that she cannot deny, no matter how hard she tries. The La Marseillaise scene is a pivotal moment in this exploration of identity. It's the moment where the characters are forced to reveal their true colors, to declare their allegiances, to take a stand. The refugees in the café, who have been living in fear and anonymity, find their collective voice in the singing of the anthem. They are no longer just a collection of displaced individuals. They are a community united in their defiance of tyranny. Rick's nod to the band is a silent declaration of his own identity. He is shedding the skin of the cynical isolationist and re-embracing the identity of the committed anti-fascist. He is remembering who he is and what he stands for. It's a powerful moment of self-realization, a moment that sets him on the path to redemption. Another hidden layer of the film is its subtle critique of American consumer culture. Rick's Café Americain is a place of commerce, a place where everything has a price. Drinks are bought and sold, favors are exchanged, and even human lives are bartered for. The letters of transit, the ultimate symbols of freedom, are treated as a commodity, something to be bought and sold to the highest bidder. This is a not-so-subtle commentary on the capitalist system, a system that the filmmakers saw as having both its strengths and its weaknesses. On the one hand, the free market can be a source of opportunity and innovation. On the other hand, it can also lead to greed, corruption, and the commodification of human life. The hidden choices behind Casablanca show just how much power a single scene can have, not just on a movie, but on the culture it shapes. Sometimes what's left unsaid or quietly changed can become the most important part of the story. And, in the case of Casablanca, that secret moment became part of what made the film a timeless legend.